Disco.
What's up, Paige?
Fucking great.
Looking good, man.
Great.
Looking good.
Mean and lean, baby. Mean and lean.
Let's talk. Let's start this off. And I don't want not so much hot, but we're obviously going to get DDP yoga and stuff. But I want to talk about how, like, we haven't discussed diet. We always used to talk about diet back in the day. And remember back when we used to go on the road, we used to eat everything. You know, rice, stuff, just like it was a lot of carbs, a lot of calories, everything. Bro, is your diet, like, you know, ever since like the low carb became a thing now and everything, what's your diet like these days? I'm doing no sugar, no grains. Basically, I was doing keto for a while, but I just do no sugar, no grains, where I don't count the calories, but I just basically eat proteins and veggies. And that's my diet.
Wrong.
Like, yeah, I can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Well, that's really, I mean, bottom line, because I'm dealing with so many big people, and I mean, we just put a video out of a guy who started at 698 pounds, 6'7", and he did that on his own because he researched, and he basically went to the keto of, you know, vegetables and protein, and lost 170 pounds in 1 year walking and eating that way. But his body was so beat up, and Konnan can account to this because he's been with me and he's worked with me. He couldn't do anything because he was so beat up. So he started my program sitting in the chair. And that's how he started working out. Couldn't do anything. In 23 months, he would lose 401 pounds.
Wow.
Like crazy. But again, you said the hardest thing for anybody out there, giving up sugar. Now, I'd be honest, when I started the no sugar thing, which I only did for 3 months because I wanted to see if I could do it. But on the January 15th will be my 1 year anniversary of my last match on AEW. And you guys saw me on that. I was pretty shredded, you know, going into that.
Yeah.
And that was like right around the time where I was in full swing of the no sugar. And when I say no sugar, I mean 8 to 10 grams a day. And that's nothing.
Right.
And what I mean by that, if I was to have, like, on our DDPY app, we've got all these recipes, right? And what's really interesting, if you take a box or a can of anything, and you know that has the ingredients there, and then it shows like potassium, 160 grams, and, you know, carbohydrates and fats. You know how it gives you a percentage?
Fiber, sugar, yeah.
Exactly. If you look next to sugar, you will see nothing. You won't see any percentage because they really can't put 2 cookies and, you know, 16 grams of sugar because that's your daily allowance of what you're supposed to have.
Right.
Like a glass of orange juice, 8 ounces is 25 grams of sugar, you know, for a bottle of orange juice. So just recently have they started to put the percentage in there. And we consume as Americans, like I think 10 times more than any other country when it comes to sugar.
Plus, not only that, Disco, real quick, not only that DDP, but wouldn't you say that we're almost addicted to sugar from when we're kids? Cereal,
100%.
Bro, let me give you a perfect example because sugar is a drug, and I'm going to give you a story. You can do this too because this is 100% works. All right. So if you have a sugar craving. Like, and the thing was to me, like at my job at work, the girls at work at the bar, they always used to have like next to the cash, they all go to the register, they're ringing stuff up. Next to the register, they'd always have candy. And the girls just nibble on the candy. And like when I'd be at work and I'd walk by the candy, I'd nibble the candy, right? Because my mind would be like, okay, there's the sugar, I can't help it, I'm just gonna nibble. And like throughout the night, over the course of 8 hours, I'm nibbling, right? So I read this trick the mind will play on you, right? Is that when you wake up in the morning, your serotonin levels are at its highest point, okay? And so your cravings are at its highest point. If within 5 minutes of waking up, everybody can try this, you can do this. Take about 3 or 4 Hershey's Kisses or that equivalent of chocolate, and within 5 minutes of waking up, eat that. You will lose your craving for sugar for the rest of the day. And if you try that, it's fascinating. You will literally, like, when I do that at work, I was like, I walk right by the candy. It's like my brain is not even craving it. I'm just like, I'm not, compelled to go nibble and stuff and everything. But that's like, but the people talk about like fat and stuff and everything. Bro, sugar is the worst thing for us. It's mentally, it messes up and it addicts us to it, and it's not healthy for you. Go ahead.
Let me just add a story to that, Disco. This is a scientific thing that they did. I don't know if it was Harvard or Stanford, but it was one of those big colleges. And they had 44 mice, and they addicted them to crack cocaine in the water. So those fuckers went for that crack, like boom. Then they put sugar water in. 42 flipped over. Jeez. That's how addictive it is.
Oh my God. Yeah, it is. It is. But we still, that's the weirdest thing about the society. It's like even during this pandemic, right, was a perfect time to message to people, bro, diet and exercise, healthy diet. Let's promote healthy eating. Let's promote it. And you just don't, it's kind of, you got to do that on your own these days. It's like we're still promoting fast food. We're still promoting sugar. We're still promoting, and I just like, you look at our society, and we're like the 12th most obese country on the planet Earth. And it's like, it's really no secret the diet choices that we have out there are just not conducive to a healthy society, and it's good that you're doing like the app. How much is it on the DDP Yoga app? How much of that is devoted to diet?
A whole section. And it's like, I don't just, like I say, tell you, here's the recipe, here's how to cook it. I cook it for you. And I'm showing you right there. Co's been to my house. It's like, there's nothing here's where I'm totally at. No gluten, no dairy, because that's monster inflammation. You know what's right next to that? Sugar. Yep. So I get my sugar in, but right now, if you guys got to look this up, it's called astaxanthin. Astaxanthin is the highest antioxidant to the body. It is red algae. And there was a guy who I know named Sammy, who I met through my brother, who's in that mix of people who are living like crazy healthy. They make me look like I'm not. The bottom line is that this astaxanthin, Sammy has over 3,000 people that get his. You can either get the red gel or you can get it in dark chocolate. So when you said the chocolate, I popped because every morning I pop my astaxanthin. It tastes delicious, but out of the 3,000, over 3,800 people that he had that take his product every friggin' month, 253 of them got COVID. No one had any symptoms.
Wow.
Kevin Nash got COVID, had 0 symptoms. It was crazy to say, I had COVID. Me and my girl. My daughter, Brittany, who's staying with us, lives with us, with my little granddaughter. She's like a vamp. I call her a unicorn since she's a little kid. But now, if they're living with her, I realize she's also a vampire because she's up all the time. So now I call her a univamp. She can walk among the lepers because not only did, me and her, and then I brought her mom and her mom, I adopted Brittany and Kimmy. Kimmy was like 1. Brittany was like 7, went from because their sperm donor just one day took off and took all the money, left them with nothing. And Linda's been working with me since she was 23 and looked like they did. Now she's 61. So she's like my sister. So I stepped in, from uncle, Paige went to godfather, went to dad. They took my last name. They're as much of my kids as anybody's kids out there. I mean, I've been raising them the whole time. And they're great kids. But she could walk among the lepers. Brittany, she still goes out. She does shit like here in Atlanta. It's, people are still living. In Florida, you'd think there's no COVID.
Yeah.
I wanted to say something when you brought up your app, Dallas, because in that app, not only does he show you how to cook stuff, he has special guests like Scott Hall and people like that. And then also in there, he's great stretching exercises where he's leading the class. There's some with wrestlers. It has information on nutrition, on stretching. If you can't get out of bed, he has exercises for you in bed. He has exercises for you on the floor. He has exercises for you on a chair. Like there ain't no excuse not to exercise if you want to get back in shape. And when I went over to his crib, which I talked about on the show, DDP, it was just incredible because Disco, he's still like old school DDP. You remember like when he would tack the black curtains so no sun could get into the room? Like he still has that gimmick, and like, bro, it's like you're at a resort because like the what do you call this? The toilet seat has like a warmer thing, and the towels are warmed up, and bro, it was incredible. I had such a great time, and he paid so good attention to me, and he motivated me, and now I'm in a different frame of mind, which I needed to be. But thanks to him, man, and I thank you a lot, Dallas. You know,
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys had a chance to see Relentless yet?
Not yet. Tell me about it.
It's, originally we were doing it to like let people know who we were as a company. Like where did DDP why? Now I branded everything DDP. Why? Because I want people to stop calling it just fucking yoga. And it's kind of funny, because when I was at AEW cutting a promo on MJF, I hit that pregnant pause and the whole building started chanting yoga. So I thought, when the fuck is that ever going to happen?
Right, yeah.
And I actually have that. But we actually started doing it to let them know, like, what we're doing, like, where did this come from? And it came from me blowing my back out and at my highest level of the business, and 3 spine specialists telling me my career's over. And I just signed the multi-million-dollar deal. So that's where it came from. It wasn't like I got done work, into my career, and I thought, I think I'll develop a workout. That's not what fucking happened. I was already developing it to heal my own body. When you got 3 spine specialists tell you your career's over and you've got a multi-million-dollar contract, you'll do anything.
Who turned you on to yoga? Dr. West?
No, Kimberly. Kimberly would pester me about it. Like, how can you? Because you guys know, I brought organic juice on me on the road. I freaking did chiropractic, applied kinesiology.
You if there was a gimmick that people were doing, you had the next level of that gimmick. The things that's like, you had like all the technological advancements.
Bro,
you were like the first guy that had it.
And he would film every match, right?
Right. Oh, yeah, he was way ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Way ahead of the game.
And everybody busts my balls about fucking filming the matches. Go on YouTube today and see how many motherfuckers got the video.
No, but everybody wanted to see their match when they wrestled you. That was another great match.
Right.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. So bottom line is, this kid, you guys have all seen Judas, Jericho's video of his hot #1 hit. Well, he filmed that video in my DDP Yoga Performance Center. And one of my guys named Nathan, who started with me as a kid, 22 years old, I knew he loved music videos. So, and I didn't want to charge Chris anything. I was like, we'll set you up, we'll do it all. You guys know, I take care of the boys 100%. I told him, I said, Nathan, you work with Chris. And bottom line is, Nathan just left us about 4 months ago because he's finally built up his own business. But I was happy about it because I knew he would grow and continue to grow. But he started putting this documentary together 5 years ago. And after the second turn of it, Steve Yu calls me up. That's my business partner, who was the director of Resurrection of Jake Snake. And he says, I want you to watch this. I think it's more than just something for our site. So I watch it. I call him up and go, dude, that's some powerful shit. And so now we started going after all of the footage. Steve and I have been working together on and off for 17 years. So this footage goes back actually from Kevin Nash hit me with that power bomb that night. And it wasn't Kevin's power bomb. It was, it was the straw that broke the camel's back. Went to tag Canyon in and said, don't tag me back, bro. I think I broke my back. Right. And bottom line is we can use the WWE shit because we're telling a story. Like I pay a lawyer $10,000 to go through everything. What can you use and what can't you use? So bottom line is we have that beginning part, and then everything from there is stuff that we've been filming for the last 17 years. So it takes you on this journey, and at some point, you see that it's not really going anywhere. Like I'm the only one, and a person here and a person there, that believes in it. Like, how do you keep going when you're 100, 200, 300, 400, $548,000 invested, and you really have nothing to show for it? And there's a point where I lost my house and short sell my house. And when I retired from wrestling, I owned everything. I had zero debt. And then a divorce happens, and Kimberly was so good to me. If Kimberly would have taken half, we wouldn't be talking about this. My life might have been different, but she didn't. And she did the right thing. And she's a partner of mine. She's already made more than I could have given her back then because she's a partner of everything. But it took 8 years to be an overnight success. So we take you through the dark moments. And that's the shit that really people need to see right now, because it's all about being relentless. And there's no one who has to believe in you but you. You guys were with me. You saw when I did wrestling. Nobody believed in me. No one thought I would ever be in the mid card. Never mind a fucking Hall of Famer. Like, not a chance in a million years. Creating a yoga that's for people who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga, getting people who would never do it to do it, and changing the meaning of the word. That's more challenging than when I did in professional wrestling. And you get to see it. And that's why people can watch it on Amazon Prime right now. And you can see the journey, the reviews. I got to pull up this one review because I read it the other night and I popped. I love how people can like leave you shit there and you can actually see what, what they really feel. And we got 5 stars reviews. We got over almost 300 reviews.
The one thing that I can attest to with Paige and why I knew that DDP Yoga would be successful is I've never in the wrestling business, because I was there with Paige in the early stages. I've never in all the years I've been wrestling, I've never seen anybody with as good a work ethic as Paige.
Right.
Never. The amount of effort that the guy put into improving his craft, working out, recovery, diet, just everything. He was like he looked at he got in the game very late, so the odds were stacked against him. But just the level of effort that he put in. Like, to this day, I've always put Paige over. It's like this. I've never seen anybody with the work ethic he has, and it paid off. And that's why I think with DDP Yoga, this stuff will, it was going to be successful because of the work ethic. And, relentless is a good word.
Well, I actually asked Jericho once, I go, bro, what's the thing with DDP? Is that a work or it's a shoot? And he was like, if it wouldn't have been for the DDP Yoga, he goes, I wouldn't have been able to continue to wrestle. And that's what made me look at it in a different way. And then obviously when I talked to the Dallas on the Jericho cruise, and now that I went to see him, bro, right. He knows his shit up and down.
How many days did you spend there?
Just one. I was in and out. I wish I would have been able to spend more, and I will go back.
What did he say about Raven?
I don't believe we mentioned him.
Well, Raven goes there too sometimes. I can imagine he's kind of.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
I didn't.
But I can imagine he's a pain in the ass still and just complains. Would you agree with that?
That's us, Dallas.
Okay, I'm back.
All right.
I just put you over huge while you were gone, Paige.
Thank you. But listen to this. I heard you talk about Rave before I bring this review up. I heard you talk about Raven. Right. Rave has changed so much to a positive side that, and I think we both have. Not so much me being positive, but me just changing and, I don't know, growing older and being a little bit wiser. And I just, like, me and him have a really strong relationship, and we helped him. He would come in 3 days a week when we had it there, and he couldn't get his arm like past here. And I didn't film him the first day. He was like, don't worry, tomorrow it's going to be the same. It wasn't. But the next day I had him the here, and then the here. And it's all about breaking up the scar tissue and getting the movement. Because when you get to that point where you can't go any farther, you just think you're done. No, you're not. And that's what I do. Let me read this review of Relentless. This guy writes, admittedly, there were a few moments when I felt like I was watching the most well-produced infomercial ever. Nonetheless, it's pretty damn epic. And in these unstable times, it's quite inspiring to see how the positive intention behind DDPY rippled out into the world to create an actual positive change. I had the DVD set sitting around for quite a while, but I think I'll finally try it out instead of merely having it and pretending that's good enough. The DDPY crew is making the world a better place, and this film documents that fact.
DDP's connection was a little choppy there, so I apologize for the quality. Hopefully you still got something out of it and could understand it. Part 2 will be on next week's show. And in the meantime, check him out on social media at RealDDP and at DDP Yoga.
Bro, let me tell you something. Yeah. Let me tell you something. When I heard the word relentless, I said, what an apropos name, because you are relentless. And I was looking at this quote that reminded me of you, and I want to read it to you. This is by Calvin Coolidge, okay? And it says, nothing can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Perseverance and determination alone are omnipotent.
Wow.
Yeah. It's true shit.
Yeah.
It's true shit.
It's true shit, man.
Yeah.
You know, the book that I put out has really helped so many people. The Positively Unstoppable, The Art of Owning It. The stories that I have from just 2020 alone, forget the last 15 years, are unbelievable, because people can reboot the way they think. It's all about the story you tell yourself. And that's the only reason that Jake Roberts has done unbelievable the last 8 years, is because he has changed the story. Now, can Jake still get dark in conversations? Damn right. But as a whole, he called Garrett today. We're filming a buddy of mine who's a yogi. And, you know, I don't ever call my shit yoga. What he does is yoga. His name's Ricky Tran. He's like one of the top yogis on the planet. And I want to put it on the app. And Garrett is filming this. It's one of my guys is filming. So we got 4 cameras going on downstairs in my gym area. So bottom line is that Garrett watches this whole thing. There's a guy who used to be 385. He went all the way down to 260, and now he's back up to about 300 because of getting depressed and, you know, changing the ways, you know, he does his shit. And now he needed to see it, though, because he saw this different type of deal, and he's like, I want to try that, too. But and Jake calls him, and I pick up the phone and go, hey, motherfucker. And Jake starts laughing, and he starts telling me some story. Jake is so happy. He is so fucking happy. The last thing he wants to do is die. And when I picked him up, when we started this journey in 2012, he was pissed. Michael Graham had killed himself. And I called him up, and he said he was pissed that it wasn't him. I'm like, Jake, you're at the bottom of the hole. What do you got to lose? I said, I want to come down here with my buddy Steve. If you'll let me, I want to film where you are. I want to go through this journey with you. And if you lose 20 pounds, he was at 307 at the time. I said, if you lose 20 pounds on your own, I will move you up here. I will take care of everything, all your bills, everything. Just come, because I owed Jake. I wanted to take care of Jake. I wanted to give back to Jake, and because I don't have any of this.
And let me just say this, because people don't even know what you're talking about. So some people don't. So we've all really had different times with Jake. When I met Jake the Snake early on, when I was doing my angle with him, DDP always used to come with him to Mexico. We ended up using DDP in some matches, but he was kind of like Jake's young boy, kind of, right?
Right.
Yeah. And for a while, Disco used to drive Jake around. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the funny thing was, Paige, Page, because we were, the genesis of Diamond Dallas Page, like I was there, like me, Canyon, Kimmy, like remember our little clique we had that we would always work, it was just us. We were always,
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, so you introduced, because I told everybody earlier, nobody had a better work ethic than you. It's like you looked at, like you were older, I'm getting into wrestling, and you looked at it very scientifically. You worked out, you trained, recovery, like you went over the board, just stretched everything. Just like we just put a lot of effort into it, right? But the funny thing is like you would like the idea of the Disco Inferno character, and you're like, hey, let me introduce you to Jake. And it's like you brought me to Jake. Jake is like this, and you brought me to Jake. And Jake, it's basically hooked me up with him. And Jake was going to be working on some shows, so I would have to drive Jake, right?
Right.
And bro, you know what it's like to drive Jake. I'm young. I'm 24, 25 years old. I'm taking Jake on these wild rides. He wants to go in the hood. I'm like, geez. But, however, we drive back and forth to Mississippi. It's like a 7-hour drive there, 7 hours back. It would take us 12 because Jake would always want to stop and go here. But the level of knowledge that I got in those car rides was priceless.
Right.
Because I learned from like the learning tree, the genius. Like I'm in the car for 20 hours, just me and Jake Roberts in a car, picking his brain. You know what I'm saying? And that elevated my knowledge of the business to like, he just took me to a different place mentally about the business, and I was always appreciative of that. But it's funny how like we were always trying to improve, and it's like, hey, you got to go to Jake, it's like Jake's got to teach us, it's just like we were relentless like that, we were all relentless trying to improve and stuff and everything and all that. But you were like the leader of that like your work ethic just kind of like permeated through the rest of us, so it was good stuff back then.
It was fun time. I got to put Konnan over for a minute. The first time we were coming to the Olympic in LA. I want to say it held about 17,000 people. And we got there, and it was sold out. People that seriously hanging from the rafters, and fucking crazy, ravenous fans. And fucking Konnan comes out, and I swear to God, brother, it was when fucking the Warrior was his hottest. That's what it was like, man. He friggin' tore that place down. He didn't have to do anything. Fucking crazy. That was the night I'm in the corner, and it's Konnan and his crew, and it's Jake, Eddie, and Art Park. Wow.
What a crew.
Oh my. Right. Lions and tigers and bears.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of people didn't get to really see how you did, but now a lot of people did not get to see the genius of Art Barn because he died way too soon.
Yeah, bro.
But he was fucking unbelievable.
He was.
I think Eddie looked up to him.
Yeah,
I think
he did. He did because Art could
it.
wrestle, and he had the charisma that Eddie didn't at that time. Eddie got really charismatic in WWE, but in Mexico, he was just that incredible worker, and Machine was a charisma and could work.
Right. Yeah, could work and could play.
Yeah. 100%. Bro, have you been working something with the NFL? Doing something with the NFL?
Yes, I now have a partnership with the NFL alumni, and like the boys, I just take care of them. I've got a lot of guys on the program. You got to remember, a lot of these guys walk like the boys in the back. The boys at the fucking Comic Cons and the wrestling conventions. That's how they walk. Got one guy, his name is Ryan Young, played for the Cowboys for 8 years. Lineman, 6'5". When he started, he was like 370. Now he's down to about 290. But he is doing my DDP Jacks program, and you don't need to lose weights. It's all about blood flow restriction. I'm not even really talking about it yet because I'm building up. When I put him out there, I sold out, and I don't want to promote it yet because it's going to change the face of fitness. Remember I said that BFR, blood flow restriction.
Oh yeah, those are those
because
things.
Of the program.
Those are the things that you put here, and then it feels lighter.
Right. It jacks you up.
Right.
It jacks your heart rate up, but more than anything, it's about healing your body and strengthening your body. And everybody knows who Dr. Andrews is, who's an athlete.
Yeah.
Dr. Andrews is the guy in Birmingham. If you're in the WWE, NFL, NBA,
Right.
you tear something, you go to Birmingham.
Right.
The number one physical therapist. Steve and I interviewed him last week. His name is Kevin Wilkes. And you'll see me and Steve and Kevin in an interview of him talking about BFR. He uses our DDPY jacked straps. That's what he uses. Because I took a company called Rock Cuffs, and those things were good, but they weren't functional. They weren't user-friendly. So I said to the guy, Chet, can I work back and forth with you on this? Because if I can get these the way I want them, I'll be able to change the face of fitness for you. And so we partnered up. Took me 9 months to do it. Back and forth. I've saved every generation of them as we went through it. But now they are kick-ass, and you'll hear about them in time to come.
Let me ask you this. I'm hearing I'm reading this thing. But what are you doing with the NFL?
So what I do is I put the guys on my program, and I basically give them.
Can you name some names?
There's not any names like you're going to know. You know, they're all friggin' guys who've been in there 3, 5, 6 years, that whether they're linemen or.
Did you know Chip Smith?
Well, I'll tell you a name you might know. Lionel Dalton, who played he played on the line for the Ravens when they won the World Championship.
Super Bowl.
Let
me ask you this. Do you know Chip Smith? Was that a name that we
very well?
Oh, you do? Yeah. So that's yeah, because that was funny, right? Because me and Ray Lloyd used to work at the Atlanta Athletic. That's right, because you knew us back then when we worked at Atlanta Athletic Club for the champ. But he was the athlete trainer guy like for 25 years ago. You know, so before every guy before ever started WCW, I see his kids now are doing it, and he's got that facility now. So, how well do you know Chip?
Very well, Chip's. I can't pull up my phone, but he sent me the most beautiful thing for the holidays, and he put me over so strong I couldn't believe it. Right. And he is also helped me get into a lot of different spots where NFL guys. And again, dude, I'm just wanting. I put it out there at the beginning, and there was like 1 or 2 people like, "Boy, you're giving it to them. They don't need your money. You know, they can afford to pay you. We need your money." And I'm like, wait a second. First of all, if you're an NFL guy and you're from 1993 back,
right,
you don't get shit from the NFL. There's no retirement. There's nothing. Those guys got nothing. And I've been watching football since I was 10 years old, and for 55 years. I've got a lot of enjoyment over my whole life. So if I can give something back to any of those guys, I had a father and a son. Now, Mike, brain name's Mike Green. Pretty sure it's Mike Green. He played center for Mike Evans. Mike Evans played center for the Philadelphia Eagles in the 60s, right? He got a picture of Dick Butkus about to blast his ass. And he played 5 years. His son played 3 years. They both came down and worked with me. I wanted Mike to use to stand strong using the chair. Mike's 72. Mike says, "I don't need the chair." I'm like, "Mike, use the fucking chair." He's like, "I don't need the chair." I go, "I'll use the chair with you. Okay, I'll do it with you like this." So bottom line is I broke it down. He got it. 5 weeks later, he sends me a text. DDP, Y alert. Mike Evans wiped his ass for the first time in 5 years.
Jesus Christ.
That's powerful shit.
Yes.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
You know, when you can't turn your body anymore, that's powerful. And Mike is such a great guy. And like from that, he went before COVID. He fucking went and did the whole European tour. He would never have been able to do that. But now he can. And that's the kind of shit that really makes my day, you know, like, especially when it's guys who are warriors.
Let me ask you a question, Dallas. So if somebody, like one of the boys or something like that, especially you know, because it's incredible everything that you have at your house. I mean, the guy had an editing bay, a studio with a cooking show, and the gym, and it was incredible. What you've set up over there is incredible. In your house, you had that cryotherapy thing, or what's it called? The
cryo machine, the hyperbaric chamber, the infrared sauna, hot tub, steam room. It's a fucking resort.
Right.
I mean, that's how I'm setting up.
So how could, for example, if wrestlers are in Atlanta and they wanted to get a hold of you, and, you know, how would they do that? How would they go about going to your place?
You know, as far as bringing someone in, I'll work with anybody who is hurt. I'm not going to bring them in and house them, you know, because I'll do that for you, bro.
Right.
You know, because
no, I don't mean house them, but to train or to get healed.
Well, you know, for starters, here's what I do. And I got to take you back to everybody knows what I'm doing about the disabled veteran that I took from can't walk to running.
Beautiful story, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it's still one. It's what God sent him to me and me to him. So when his video went viral, which I didn't even know what the fuck viral meant when that happened. I got to just back you up on that. I'm leaving LA to go on the road for 10 days. That's why you really want to watch Relentless, because all these unbelievable stories, we show you them happen, like as it unfolds. And it's been up for about 2 days, and Steve calls me at like 1 o'clock in the morning my time, which is LA, which I'm still up, right? He's in Atlanta. He's still up. He goes, bro, I think we're going viral. I go, what the fuck does that mean? He goes, a lot of people are watching the video of Arthur.
Right.
I go back to sleep. I get up. I go to the airport. I'm going through TSA. I get a text. It says, it's something he cut and pasted. It's a tweet that said, stop what you're doing right now and watch Real Magic, David Copperfield.
That's sweet.
Boom.
Right.
And it just started going from there. So back to, I just took my ADD away from that. What were we talking about right before that?
People could come over to your place and train, or
okay, right.
Train with.
So this is what happened when that video went viral. People thought my initials were JC,
right,
and not DDP,
right,
and they would write me these sagas about how fucked up they are. And by the end of it, they were telling me how I wasn't going to help them anyway. And why did I even bother writing this? And I'm like, what the fuck? Right. You know, because I'm reading that. So I'm getting connected. So there was a bunch of them. And that was just DVDs. So what I would do is I made up a list. And on the list, it says, take the 6 pictures, the measurements, the pain index, watch the resurrection of Jake, or it wasn't a resurrection then. It was living life at 90%, which is a lecture I did in LA. There was no book yet then. I would say watch Food Inc. and Genetic Roulette. When you get done with that, let me know, and I'll send you the DVDs for nothing. 5% of those people got back to me, and 5% of those, and 100% of those people got the DVDs. Now it's an app. So if someone wanted me to work with them and they're not part of my circle,
right,
I would say, watch this video, do the list. It's on the video. It's on my app.
Everything's on the app, bro.
Everything's on the app.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Everything. It's called The List. It's in the user guide section. Now it's watch, do all the pictures, all that shit's all set up. There's on the app. You take the pictures, the measurements, the pain, the weight, everything. You track everything. And when you do the workouts, if you've got a heart monitor, Bluetooth, it comes up on the fucking screen. So you get to see when you're in your zone, out of your zone, or over your zone, how many calories you burn, the whole fucking thing. It works, it does it all for you. But you got to still watch the Living Life at 90%, Arthur's video, Stacy's video, Vance's video, Food Inc., Genetic Roulette, Resurrection, now Relentless is on there, and Rudy. Why? Because you need to be inspired. You need to believe that anything's possible. All you really have to do is watch fucking Resurrection. And if you can watch Jake go from here to here and not believe, then fuck you. Don't do it. I don't give a shit. I mean, I've had that happen the whole time. I don't try to talk anybody into shit. But if you watch all of the things, and now if you read the fucking book, highlight it, and really try to reboot your brain, it's all there. Now, if you do all that, and I can't tell you how many people that I've done this with, and I am tracking 25 people right now. A woman who started at 299 pounds, can't pick her foot up. She loses 30 pounds and she can hold her foot over her head. 6 months later, I'm thinking that girl doesn't know how to eat, but she knows how to train and she knows how to work. So I find her in my thing and I call her up and I say, hey, Stephanie, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I want you to do. She's like, my God, you're calling me? I'm like, yeah, you're putting the work in. Here's what I want you to do. On the app, go to the user guide, go to list, do all the lists. Here's my email. Email me back and I'll call you. And once a month, I'll help you. That was about 6 months ago. She's not at a year yet. Remember, she was 30 pounds in 6 months. She just today sent me a video. She is down 100.8 pounds. That's just one of them. That's just one of them.
I went to your house and I saw the videos and all the people that you've helped and other people you keep helping. And, you know, with people like Chris Jericho, who has talked how it's changed his career around. I went to your house and now I'm exercising. And, you know, I can't recommend enough everything that DDP is a part of. Where can people get this Relentless? You said on Prime Amazon?
Yep, on Amazon Prime. And it's free there. You know, eventually we'll put it everywhere. But for right now, we just want to put it there and see what happens and watch it grow, you know, because it really, it's what that guy said. It's what that review said, you know. Like, yeah, you know, you can't talk about Steve Jobs without talking about Apple the entire fucking time.
Right.
You can't talk about Diamond Dallas Page without talking about wrestling and DDPY.
Right.
You can't. It's my life, you know. Right. So just go to, and if anybody wants to try the program, you have 7 days for free. Go to ddpy.com. It's all there. Last, this is my third one, the Positively Unstoppable $1 Million Challenge. You want to be a part of it? Go to positivelyunstoppable.com. It's all on ddpy.com. Sign up for it. The 4 contestants from this year, there's only supposed to be 3. Third place gets $5,000. Second place gets $10,000. Third place, there's 100 books. You got a chance to win $1 million. One of those books, $1 million. It's one of those hole-in-one things where it costs me like $100,000 to do it between everything. So I pay to have it. I pray to God somebody gets that $1 million at one point. But if you don't get $1 million, like Candy, who won this year, get $25,000, and we flew her husband, we flew everyone and their mate in for my Christmas party. Now, everyone who came to my Christmas party had to have a COVID slip. That last 48 hours said they're negative, and they got in. And that's how I did it. Just for the party, people would have gone through it because none of them thought that they were going to win. They didn't do it for the money. They did it to be accountable and to inspire people. Every one of them. There's a site on YouTube, not YouTube, Facebook, DDP Yoga, one word. It's the most inspiring shit you've ever seen. One guy started it. His name was Chris Garbiano. It was just for a group of buddies that were doing the program. Now there's over 55,000, and they help each other. All 4 of these people came on, and they came in there looking to be, you know, for inspiration. They are now 4 of a shitload of people that inspire other people. They give back. And that's one of the things Jake had told me so early on. I said, Jake, how do I pay you back for this? He said, spread the word. Take the knowledge I gave you and give it to others. And, you know, I'm sure he said the same thing you, Disco, you know, but that I could actually help Jake fucking recreate his life, because I didn't do it. He did it. I just helped him be accountable and gave him the road that I paved to help help everybody.
Bro, there's nothing sweeter than
help myself.
Yeah. D, Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There's nothing sweeter. Yeah, there's nothing sweeter than helping somebody that helped you when you were like nobody. You know what I'm saying?
100%, man. Jake believing in me gave me an inner confidence. And I said this when I inducted him in the Hall of Fame. I said, never underestimate the power you give someone by believing in them. And then for the first time ever, I said, but more importantly, never underestimate the power you give yourself by believing in you. That is everything.
Bro, powerful words and a great way to end this. Anything that you want to plug before we get out of here, Dallas?
Nah, I fucking hit everything so far.
Yeah.
This is very comprehensive, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. I love being on. Please listen. Trust me. Go watch Relentless, Amazon Prime. Please leave me a review. Let's see what you got to say about it. That's why I love the way that guy started the greatest infomercial ever.
Right. Well,
but it's fucking epic. It's like, wow, that's amazing.
To all our listeners, you can hear the positive messages from DDP. Also, the way that he helps people. He's always been like that, and he continues to help people and giving back. And so let's support him. Check out Relentless on Amazon Prime. And I want to thank you, DDP, for being on Keeping It 100. Boom. I love you, my brother.
Boom, baby. Love you guys. See ya.